Hello everybody and welcome back to Birthdays at the Beginning and to my newly made cube. To those of you who didn't watch my last video, I am just going to quickly recap what Navi has to say for itself about the situation at the end of the last episode before that. So Navi says, "Oh, it's you, what's up? I didn't expect to see you again. It's been pretty boring here without you." Huh? Your world is different from before? I haven't heard anything about that. I know, let me do some research real quick. This time it's my turn to help you. And off Navi goes to do some research. And comes back and says, I see, it looks like your world isn't quite the same as it was before. I'm sorry, I didn't know either. But it seems that if you complete your library, the link to your world will also be complete. Do that and your world will be completely back to normal again. I'm really sorry. Geez, why didn't they tell me sooner? Huh. Oh, it's nothing. Who's they? Who's they, Navi? All I can say is you should thoroughly study game info. Okay, so what we're going to do is what Navi's telling us to do. We're going to try and complete the library. I'm not going to try and complete the game 100% because I think what the game 100% means is that you go through story mode and get all the stars. I'm not interested in getting all the stars. I'm interested in getting all the animals. And from the comments I'm getting from you guys, I think that that's what you're interested in too. So hopefully you're happy with that because that's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, so let's get into this cube, and we might need to do a few last minute adjustments before we start. Because what I'm wanting, we're going to be going down to 36 degrees, okay? 36 degrees is far too cold for the start of a cube. What you want to be doing at the start of a cube is going at about 50 degrees maybe. Just to try and get the zooplankton going. And then to try and get a few of the other sort of warm water things. And then when things start getting out of the sea and onto land, that's when you want to be going down to about 40 degrees. Then, after the dinosaurs, you want to be going all the way down to like 20 degrees or so. So, at the moment, with the very, very starts of the cube here, what I'm wanting is about 50 degrees. So, to do that, let's see what items we have. We do have a full... I don't know if that's because I just reloaded the game, but we have a full 6,000 HP worth that we can use to change things. We also have a valley source, which we can use to make the temperature a little bit lower as well. I could maybe just use that in the shallows or something. Or somewhere that's got a reasonable surface area. Let's have a look. Around here has quite a big area, so I could use a valley source kind of in here. We could make a little dip into the ocean there. Maybe just along here somewhere. Just do a little dip down. Not that that did an awful lot compared to the size of the cube. So we're still 36 degrees. That did nothing. That did absolutely nothing. Wow. So what I think I'll do is go back to my trusty field sources. I need to make the cursor a different size. And we'll go down to that level. Make a bit of a ledge maybe. Can't believe I did that and it was so tiny compared to the map. Okay. So maybe go down to there and we'll just pull everything down. With the trusty old field sources along here. We'll make kind of a little pool, and then I'll kind of maybe crag up the wall around it with make it a little bit of an interesting look to it. I want it to all look like a big pool. Each of these levels I want to look like a big pool that everything's just swimming around in. That's the idea. I'll just make sure this lines up. There's like an underwater swimming pool. So we've managed to get 1 degree. Lovely. But we also have a few global warming and global coolings as well. So I'm going to use as many global warmings as I can. And see how that affects things. You don't want to see me like raising and lowering terrain all day. That's the reason I time-lapsed it. So I think I've got a few more field sources to pick up around here as well. The more you use field sources to lower and raise the terrain, the more you manage to pick more up. And that's the reason why I was able to do what I'd done here. Because I was allowed to use all of the field sources that I had in my inventory from last time. Because as you can see, I've kept my character. And I've also, if you have a look here, kept my library. So I've got all my library. And I just need to find all the little bits that I missed and fill them in. And that's basically what we're up to now. For example, this guy that lives in 56 to 46 degrees C. But it needed Elrathia and Pikaia and Astrapsis to be born. So it kind of, I needed to raise the temperature after they'd all been born to get that guy. I needed a Pikaia that wanted to swim in the hot seas. So like basically it looks like after I got Pikaia, I should have raised the temperature to get these guys. You know, there's a few things that I'm just going to be really looking into. If you guys don't really like the whole looking into one little gap in the whole thing and trying to get it, then it's probably going to be the wrong playthrough for you. It's going to be very much like, I want to get all the little gaps that I've got in this library. Because, you know, look at this. I've got a load of stuff. I'm missing loads of frogs. I'm missing loads of bugs. There seems to be a whole area around here where I just didn't get a load of stuff. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. Bunch of stuff missing there. A bunch of dinosaurs and things missing. Some plants. Some insects. But we did get a lot already. So I reckon we're like... I think it's 290 something that we need to get. And we're on 154. So we're like over halfway. But we are missing a ton. So that's the idea of what's going on. But I kept my library. So we've got everything we need. We just need to use a few global warmings. Get the temperature right in this cube. $48. 50. 53. 53 will probably be fine. So let's go and let time pass. Because I'm really excited to see how this cube greens up. I've been waiting, like, imagine making all that and not be able to see any of it go green yet. It's so exciting. Okay, let's start time. From year 0. Phytoplankton are alive. Yay. So they'll start things going for us. I don't know whether I'll manage to get anything new today, because I'm going to have to repeat a lot of the really early stages, and I think we got a lot of stuff early on. But we'll see. So just going to watch the phytoplankton multiply. And fingers crossed we'll get some zooplankton fairly soon. If not, I might be able to use the water of life in the water. Because I don't know how many we need. I think I had a water of life. Oh no, don't global cool. Oh. I hate this sometimes. I actually wanted to go back into the cube. Now we're going to have to mess with the terrain because I used a global cooling. And now it's 50 degrees. What I wanted to use was a water of life, which I will use anyway. We'll just use it anywhere in the sea, and hopefully that will help the zooplankton to propagate. So let's come out again before I mess anything else up. Honestly. I'll leave it. It's only gone down to like 50 degrees. It should be fine. We'll fast forward a little bit. Yay, zooplankton. That was the only thing I was particularly worried about getting, because zooplankton can be a little bit tough. Apparently in new cubes it can be something that can be a little bit of a fiddle to get, but I think you just need the really hot temperatures. Loads of phytoplankton, which is well cool. I'll fast forward a little bit more. We're just waiting for stromatolites. Yay! Here we go. So now everything is coming. Cyclomedusa, Colunia. So we're getting some undersea plants coming. Cyclomedusa's back again. And now it's propagating. It maybe needed the seaweed to be there. So that's our first few things. Elrathia. Paraguanathia. Dinorthus. Oh, of course, the cube's going to stay grey until we get land plants, isn't it? Look at all this. The zooplankton's going down a bit. Oh, loads of stuff. Yay. Oh, we've got plants on the ground. Look at this. Incredible. It's going nuts. Wow. Got blue grandma already. Oh, this is worth doing. Conifers. How are conifers even alive? Oh, of course, because I did so many different... That's one thing I actually haven't explained to you guys. I've got conifers, even though this cube on the sea level is around 50 degrees. Although I've let it come down to 48. I'm actually happy to let it be at 48 for now. But... if you look up here, I'll go grab a few of these shinies off the floor. So if you look up here, and you look at the temperature that is on the cursor status, not the one at the top of the mini-map, the one in the little box underneath with the little sunshine. So you see by here it's 38. Up here 36, 33, 30, 27, 24, 19, 14, and 11 degrees at the top. So I have a difference in temperature of 30 degrees across this cube. And then in the sea... because we haven't actually checked out the sea yet. Oh my goodness, we've already got new stuff. Wow, I am so impressed with that. Let's capture it. There was me like, oh, it'll be ages before I can get anything new. Prototaxite. See, I saw this on Avax and I was like, how did you get that? And he's like, I don't know, I just did. So there we are. We've got that now. And we've got these things, which I think I might maybe call cold adapted versions of them as well. I'm liking this cube because it's, yeah, it's easy to get stuff when you've got all the different temperatures. A prototaxite that adapted to life in hot, arid lands. It can decompose a variety of organisms. Very good. So imagine in the sea, as we get further down, I think it gets cooler the further down into the sea you go. So I want to see what the sort of temperature range you've got there. I mean, oh look, the stromatolites, they're loving this. Look at them go, and the seaweed. Wow. See, I never had that much space in my original cube for them to just propagate in the shallows like that. They're really, really, really happy. Okay, so we pop down here. This is the lowest, I think it's the lowest level of the cube. And it's 30 degrees down there. Now, if I want to raise the temperature of the cube and also make some cooler sea, what I purposely did here is made it quite big so that I've still got room to actually cut it in half and sort of make a really deep pool in here that really, really deep water stuff can go into. So I'm going to pop out. We've captured that new thing, which is really cool. So happy with that. We've got calamites already. Wow. And the cube is really starting to green up. So I'm just going to, again, just let it go and see what happens. Because that's actually quite fun to watch at the moment. Red fern. I'm enjoying watching the rivers green up all the land as well. I might have to make some little tributaries though. Because it's quite a big area it's got. I've got a seed of evolution in the cube and some seeds of mutation. Obviously, because so much stuff is growing at the moment. This cube's going to look lovely in a very, very short amount of time, I think. Sea punctata. Have I had that before? No, I don't think I have. That's another new thing. New thing number 2. Wow, I'm loving the look of this cube. It's looking really cool already. Well, I think so. All the rivers are already nice and green, and the conifers, we've got tons and tons of trees. I never had trees at this stage at all on my previous cube because I didn't have enough different areas in different elevations. So many shinies. Some of these are a seed of evolution as well, so I need to try and pick them up. You can tell that in the 2.5 hours that I spent, and it was 2.5, you know, you watched 10 minutes worth of time lapse, that was 2.5 hours of me shaping this land using nothing but field sources and recovery leaves that I'd, you know, slowly gotten together over the story mission. I didn't know how to use field sources properly up until very, very recently. So let's like zoom in a little bit and see what this is. Zoom. It's like a tiny little sort of bellflower thing. That is sea punctata, a plant that grows in hot uplands. They emerged as diphylia, I think, we're spreading. Sometimes takes a minute. Right, it's cooling down now, and the reason that's happening is because we're getting so much green. Green equals cool. So what I might actually do is try and keep the temperature up a little bit. Oh, actually, I don't know. Well, we could just, again, we can just see what happens. Oh, actually, I haven't got all the shinies off the map. I need to do that because, as I say, there was a seed of evolution there, and that might be something that I'll really desperately need later on. Let's just pop around. Yeah, grab all the bits and bobs. I'm just literally using the mini-map to find them, sorry, so I'm not really looking at the cube to do it. Oops. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. What I mean to do is zoom it out a bit, because I zoomed right in to see that plant, and I need to be zoomed right out, otherwise it's really, really hard to move around without just like sinking your head into the cube all the time, and that just looks awful. Something in the sea down here. I see it. Something right in the corner as well. I think that's all of the shiny set. Oh no, there's one more at the end of this river. It's actually quite nice to have the rivers as a reference point because it's easy to see if something's right at the end of X, Y, or Z river. It's easy to know where it is. There are some bits in the river that I will need to fix because I did notice some of the waterfalls when I was editing. I was like, oh, I didn't fix that. I think this one I fixed everything in it. This one still has some fixing to do though. So I'm just trying to do it like this. Because the easiest way to do it is to just really quickly... Oh. There we are. I think up here was fine. Yeah. Down here was okay. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of a weirdness here. Oh, that's obviously been done with a 3x3. But then for some reason that is a 1x1. Because we can't have messed up rivers. It's against the law. The laws of nature that say that water cannot flow up, but apparently in this it can. I know I'm being quite slow with this, but it's very kind of detailed work, so you need to just make sure. And if I see anything else while I'm flying around, I'll fix it as I go, but I think those were the two I saw in my editing. I was like, no, the rivers are all messed up. That's fine, that's meant to be a double layer. Yep, that's cool. Okay, well, we'll see what we get at 46 degrees. But yeah, we've got quite a lot of desert area sort of in the middle, which is quite interesting. I imagine that that will very quickly turn green though. If it doesn't, I'll just make more rivers and more pretty waterfalls. Seems like just the general population of things is just going up at the moment. The nice thing about this is I don't have to worry about just letting it fast forward for a while and seeing what happens. And that's quite a nice place to be honest. I didn't like the time limits on the story mode. Okay, I'm just going to jump into the library quickly, and I want to see if there's anything that I'm... so you can have however many billion years you want to do this. But it's added on my previous cube year total, and it's pretty horrendously high. Avac told me he did his entire game in under 5 million cube years. I'm like, how did you do that? But then looking at this map I made, I think that I'll get a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time here. So I think it's all about building your cube in the right way, and I don't think I was doing that in the last one. I don't think I had the right levels. I don't think I had the right elevations, temperatures. I didn't understand all of that. I didn't have enough rivers, so that was holding a load of stuff back as well. Let's have a look in the library. Let's have a look at the library tree. Let's see if there's anything that looks like it might be able to like turn up early on that we can maybe try and help on its way. I mean, obviously, really, animals and stuff haven't really started to appear yet. The first animal we get, let me see. We've got Cyclomedusa, but we haven't got Anthracomedusa. And there was a couple of other things like on the way along here. So this guy, so it needs Pikaia and it needs Elrathia. Elrathia I think we already have in the cube. Pikaia we don't have any yet. And that's going to be the next thing we'll need really. And it wants 41 to 51 birth temperature in the sea, and it wants Elrathia to be around. Elrathia is around, I think. Yep, we got loads of that. And Astrapsis. Haven't got any Helophilium yet. So Baraguantha is the first kind of land one. We've got that one, we've got that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. None of those yet, but as the temperature cools, we'll get them back. We don't have any broadleaf trees. Again, they're another one that's a cooler temperature. A broadleaf tree with golden leaves is said to emerge in the heavens at the farthest reaches of the world. So I think I'm going to need to make a pillar into the sky for that one. And it births at minus 59 degrees C. Yeah, that'll need a pillar to go all the way up to the sky. I only have a pillar to go to the mountain at the moment. What are you? Gerbera. We have Gerbera already, I think. We do, yeah. Cool swampy forests. So it likes quite high humidity and quite a low birth temperature, but we do have places where it could propagate. Its smell lures insects such as Pantala flavescens. So we might need that to get a certain... Now here, this is trees for very hot savannas. They want 43 to 53 degrees. And as equisetum. I don't know what equisetum is. Oh, this guy. Grow in numbers. And they appear once a velociraptor starts coming in. So we can't really get any of this until we've got dinosaurs. That's fine. But we have every other plant on this side except for these guys that need dinosaurs. This little bit here, when the dinosaurs come in, we can fill that out. Okay. This one, I'm hoping will just come on its own. And this one, we need to build a pillar to the sky. Which I don't want to do at the moment because it'll lower the cube temperature. When I want to lower the cube temperature, I'll build the pillar to the sky and we'll get that tree. Good plan, man. So, 36 degree to 46 degree. We're a little too hot for that at the moment. Actually, no, because there'll be some places in the shallows, hot shallows, that might turn up as we cool it down a little bit. Seaweed in low temperature shallows. Really low temperature. Yeah, so as the temperature comes down, normally I go from hot to cold. I may need to bring the temperature up and down again, but I'm trying to really go from hot to cold. So as it cools, those should start to propagate. We have not got any Chrodium Fragile at the moment, but they tend to come when it gets a bit cooler. Appeared following the disappearance of Dimetrodon, so we need Dimetrodon to come and go. But then the cube might consider that. I don't know whether it considers it on the cube or in the library. We'll have to see. But yeah, we'll certainly get Chrodium Fragile pretty soon. And then the rest is all animals. We really do have most of the plants. Some corals that we're missing. Corals are like, they're a weird one because they're kind of half, well, they're not really animal, they're not really plant, they're a bit of a weird mix. Someone's going to say they're an animal. I think they're more animal classed than plant classed. Because I think that they're actually technically a colony of something or other. They're very interesting anyway. Despite my lack of knowledge about them. So we've got loads of different spiders we can get. So we do need to lower the temperature and then raise it again, definitely, so that we can get all the things like spiders going. But that thing I think we definitely need to get at the moment, and then we need to get the Pacaya, Astraxis, all that sort of thing. And they're all like 46 degrees. Yeah, 40, 45, 46 seems to be a very good temperature to go for at the moment. So I actually might global cool it a little bit more. I'll let time go for a bit more and then see if anything else shows up, and if too much doesn't show up, then I'll lower it by like 2 degrees. I'll just use a cooling for that. I'm thinking one of the corners, you know, the corners that are just at sea level, I might just build a sky pillar on that. Can be its own little affair in the corner. Pachynorthus, Autumn Fern. We're already on fast forward at the moment. Ophiuroid! Hello! I don't need to go and get that because I've got it already. That's the other thing, is that I don't need to go and capture as much stuff in this because I've got half of it already. There's only going to be really specific things. Right, I think I'm fed up of just having fish and plants and things. So let's see if we can try and actually no, I know what I need to do. I need to lower the temperature. So I think let's pick up all the shinies first, and then I'll go and start on my sky tower. And it's probably not going to be too attractive, to be honest. I might try and make it a bit more attractive than it is, but I've got this really pretty cube, and then I've got to go and make a big sky tower on it. See, I knew I should have started my cube in the sky, not in the mountains. I knew there'd be something that would insist on living in the sky. Typical. I missed one in the corner. I always do that. I fly around the map and I get like most of the shinies, and then there's always like one little hidey one in the corner somewhere. There's one down here. There we go. Oh, I'm really liking the look of this. I love these things. I think they make such a difference to the map, don't they? They look so pretty. We've got so much stuff growing as well. I'm really, really happy with it. But I think what I'd like to do is raise the moisture in the middle of these desert areas to try and green the cube up a little bit. And they'll only last for a certain amount of time, but then they'll make it into proper desert rather than rock. I hate rock so much. Mysterious. So I think the rain clouds are just yes, because you just use them for a certain amount of cube years, and they just raise the moisture. So we're just going to do that over here as well. We'll do a large rain cloud in the middle of here. And then we'll just see, so that's like 1,000,000 cube years that lasts for. I'll just see if that greens it up and then turns to desert later on. That would be pretty cool if it does. I like the sandy look. Now it's getting to 44 degrees now. That's getting rather cool for my liking. So I do think that what we need to do here is to lower the sea a bit more. We've got plenty of energy to do it with now, which is good. We can have some super deep sea. I should use all my energy making the sea deeper. And the cube is so big that that made no difference whatsoever. But never mind. We'll go see what those changes do. So we're mostly looking at that little area. I'll bring my mouse in. This little area here, because that's where I put the rainy things. That'll be interesting. I think it's nice to do that, just to make this. I want this cube looking good, you know. I spent a lot of time on it. So we'll get my health back first. Just let the time go slowly. And see what happens to the moisture in that area, if it does anything at all. It might not. It's an experiment. I haven't experimented much with those rain clouds yet. And also sometimes you just need to let things propagate to see what's going to happen, you know. Okay, let's fast forward a bit. So all of the seaweeds are propagating nicely, all of the stromatolites and things like that, really enjoying themselves. Still got a lot of desert in the middle. Another seeded mutation. Ah, there we are. There's our little areas of green that we wanted to make into desert. So I can slowly keep doing that. Picaya! Yes, that's one thing we really need. Now, if we can get Picaya and Elrithia to spawn a lot, to do well. Oh, we've got a Strapsis now, and a Strapsis. So this dude that I'm really looking for. Who's our next? You know, he's the only one in this sort of real top layer that we don't have. So I'm imagining we can get him quite early on. But he wants a birth temperature of 46 degrees, so we really have to raise this cube temperature up as quickly as we can to get him. So that's going to be what I'll do for the rest of the episode, I think. See if we can try and get him to spawn. I'm just going to check Pikaya's temperature. Are they happy? They're happy 41 to 51. He wants 46 to 56. So if I make it about 46, 47, then hopefully he'll appear. But at the moment we're about 44, so we're a few degrees off. Now, did I manage to get any more global warmings at all? No, because it's probably going to give me global coolings. Oh yeah, I have a Boxosaurus Rex and a crashed UFO now. They were like free DLC. I can put them places. I don't put the crashed UFO here because this is going to be kind of a little bit of a desert area. So I think it would like... Oh, you know what? There looks like a nice place for it, I reckon. Yeah, crashed UFO right here. There you go. Boxosaurus Rex, I think, can go all the way up the top. You can go next to my mountain. Yeah, here. Boxosaurus Rex. Right there. That is your place. Lovely. Okay, so we need an area of the sea that is a little bit warmer than we currently have. It's 45 in the sea. In the shallows anyway. I imagine this guy, I didn't even check if he wanted shallows, did I? No, he wants the sea. He wants the sea to be 46 degrees. Good grief, no wonder I didn't get him last time. He wants it really hot. But it doesn't hurt to keep pulling the temperature up and down. But I will mostly be doing that from inside the sea because that's the best place to pull temperature down and up, if you ask me. Okay, I'll go get the rest of the shinies in a minute. I'll use all of my energy that I've got right now to make some more. Now this sea is 20 degrees. And this sea is 28. Oh, we could maybe do with some that's kind of in the middle, actually. Do I do another one here and I'll step it up a bit. Do you know what I should be using right now? Actually, thinking about it, is field sources. They are so useful. I'll show you basically what I was doing in the time lapse because I don't think it was very obvious what I was doing. So I was basically going and getting a field source, making my cursor as big as possible because it's based on your cursor size, right? And then you just hit the X button on your controller, and down it comes. And it's a really, really good way if you've already made one bit of deep sea, you pull other things down to that level. There, look, no energy used, and I've got a whole new tile at minus whatever. And then if I only want it to be a few tiles further up than that, then I'll just pull it down with the field source. And then maybe push it up a few. Say, look, I want a little bit that's like this high here. So there we are, we've got like a little bit of... and then I could maybe just pull a little bit more down here to that approximate height. And the nice thing about it is that it makes things nice and flat. And as much as it's really, really cool to have lots of little bits of embellishment and stuff like that, which I probably will try and put in as I go along in the cube, if I can. So I want sea temperatures of... Let me go get the shinies because they're bugging me. I can see them on the map and I have to get them. It's the lore again. It's the lore of Sheilab. But yeah, I just feel that if you make all those little tiny bits and bobs, I couldn't have done that with the field sources. I would not have had enough energy to basically decorate. this whole cube in one go. But I'm definitely going to be like changing little bits and bobs of it as I go along. There's no way that it's going to stay exactly the same. And I think it'll look even better by the time I'm finished. Especially once it's covered with greenery and stuff. But yeah, when you have a lot of flat land, it means a lot of stuff can grow. I mean, like you saw what happened with the stromatolites in the sea. They were loving it because they had this big area that they could just grow in. So I think you have to have a balance between having enough flat land for everything to grow and having sort of really pretty decorative craggy looking hills as well. My cube is probably a little bit more functional, to be honest, and a little bit less pretty at the moment, but as I say, you can't... The only way that you can raise and lower the land without using energy is by using field sources, so that's what I had to do, but it gives you a very blocky look. Okay. So we're at 45 and we needed sea levels of 46. And that's not just like shallows level, this is like sea level. This is like down here. Oh no, that's deep sea. Right, is this sea? That's the sea and that's the sea. So this is the one that's most likely to be where it will grow. This little bit here, that's -5. So that's my kind of warm sea and this is my cooler sea. I could probably do with making some of the shallows into sea rather than just shallows. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think I'll just do that using... Now that's all shallows. I think I should make all of this sea. So we're going to have quite a big drop there, but I don't mind. I don't mind. I'd rather have it workable for the things that want to live here, because all the things that are living in the shallows at the moment seem to be wanting to live in the very, very shallow shallows, not the -2 shallows. So right, that's 46, 44 in the sea at the moment. Oops. Pull that one down a bit as well. It's a lot easier to do all of these little terrain changes when you actually have some energy to use. Oh, we don't have any more energy anymore. Okay, that's fine. This sea will probably get up to 46 or 47, but I'll get one more full bar of energy and I'll pull it up a degree or two. We lost a lot of temperature by it going as green as it was, all the plant life growing. I can't believe those... Actually, let's put some more rain clouds down. I can't believe they made such tiny patches of sand. This is going to take forever to make a desert. I'm going to have to make another river, I reckon, going down that other patch. I'll have one patch of purposeful desert. In fact, let's go back down there and let's work on this desert. Let's just put down... Every time we go back to the cube... We'll put down a little bit more of a rain cloud somewhere that can turn into a little patch of desert sand. So we've got 3 different types of rain cloud that we can use, which is great. The small and the large and the excess. Okay, there's a very small area that they work on, so we just need to keep on using them and it will be fine. Yeah, let's go back and we'll get my health all back, or my energy, or whatever you want to call it. And wait and see if any more desert shows up. It took a little while last time. Okay, so we're at 45 degrees temperature. Bacaya and Astrapsis and all of that seem to be quite happy with the temperature as it is, so that's fine by me. So let's go and pull it up maybe a couple more degrees. I don't want it to go above 51, maybe 48 would be fine. 47, 48. Around that sort of temperature. So I think what I'll do is pull some of this down a bit. Again, I'll just use a field source for it. I love field sources, they are so handy. They do everything so fast, it's so good. Now, a problem here is going to be that it'll want to pull everything up as well as down, so I'll just pull that down. Or maybe just go over here and pull some more stuff over here down. See if that'll be enough to do it. No, apparently not. So what we're going to do instead then is to go to this really super deep sea. And we'll pull that down. If that's not enough to do it, I don't know what will be. There we are, 47. I think that will make a difference. Sometimes you need a degree above or a degree kind of below the thresholds that you want. And the reason that you want that is because it doesn't always quite make it to that temperature. Sometimes it just is slightly shy of it. So we'll just give it one more little push and see if we can get that guy. Sakabambapsis. Oh, we got a new thing. Yay, something for our library. I'm hoping it's the thing I was trying to get. Anomalocaris. Right, I think we're at the point now where there's enough stuff growing on my cube. There's something in the sea. Hey, it's my dude! Hello! Right, so that's the first line of stuff completed. I saw one of these guys on the challenge map and I was like, I don't have you! Wow! He's a 9-star organism! No wonder! That's my first one. That's so cool. And it's because everything else that's birthing around that sort of time wanted sort of, you could get it by getting about 45-degree temperature. This one wanted it raised that a little bit more. You know, you have to raise the whole cube temperature just to get him. So you're not fussy at all, are you? So anyway, now we have captured him. I think that that's the end of the episode. That's really good. We got about 3 or 4 different things added to our library today. So I'm really, really pleased with that. I'm really pleased with how the cube is going. We'll maybe add a river or 2 next time just to try and keep the greenness of the cube going up. But I will keep that one little area of desert right in the middle there. And we'll just keep putting rain clouds on it until it all eventually turns to sand. So that's it for me. I really enjoyed this episode because I'm really happy to be getting all these little guys that I haven't got before and just spending the extra time to make the changes to the cube that I need to get them to propagate. So I'm really happy with that. So if you like the episode as well, then please do leave me a like. If you'd like to see more of Birthdays and Beginnings, then please subscribe. I will let you know when the new videos are out. I hope to see you next time. In the meantime, please look after yourselves and keep being awesome.